Okay, here's the section of the presentation that I like to call, sometimes the kid knows exactly what you want them to do and they just don't want to do it, right? Motivation. So classic motivation example here. So here's the instructor. He's got the diving sticks that the kid likes. They're like little rockets. And he's like, okay, kick to the end of the lane, then we can play with the diving sticks, right? First kick to the end, then we'll get to do this thing you like to do. Classic. Okay, so with that example, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you have to build in those motivating, rewarding activities to get the kids started with what you want them to do. So we start with lots of first thens with kid. You guys know this phrase? First you do this, then you do this. Magic, just magic. But I want you to know it's not an autism thing. I would bet that most of you in your daily lives use first then in your head all the time, right? First, you're gonna do a 6-hour presentation. Then you get to go home and watch Hockey Night in Canada, right? Then you're gonna relax or you're gonna go out with your friends or whatever you wanna do. So we are doing this all the time, all of us in our lives. It's just a matter, I find with our kids, they get so stuck in their frustration, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like, I hate the stupid back float, right? So it's helping them realize, well, don't forget, like, first you do your back float, then there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but then we get to go down the slide, right? And then they're like, okay, I can make it through, I'm gonna try my back float so that I can go to the slide. This is just making those strategies explicit. I know people who have taught kids using a lot of first then, and then the kids start first thenning themselves. So they go, okay, well, first we'll do front float, but then we can play with toys. You're like, sure, deal, I like it, good idea. Or maybe you're gonna challenge them a little bit more in the future. You say, well, first 5 front floats, then we'll play with toys, right? So, you know, you're not trapped. When you start using first then, people think, oh, well, the kid's gonna expect a reward for everything. If that happened, that would be your fault, not the kid's fault, right? All you need to do is start stretching your expectation, okay? So this is the typical progression of all of us when we're learning. When we're just starting something, we do only a little bit and then we're done and that was good enough. Okay, so that's just shaping the amount of times that you want them to do it, the quality that you want them to show you, all that kind of thing before they can achieve that reward. So for a lot of our kids, it's at the end of the session, you get to go down the slide once, right? But you got to get all these things done first, okay? So you can fade them out. We have lots of other neat tools that I'll show you where I think are very helpful for getting those initial extensions, right? So moving from first one back float, then toys, just, you know, getting a little bit more. Okay, let me just show you a video of Allie that kind of shows a lot of these concepts. So here's Allie, same girl, working with my wiggliest little friend. He is a very capable little guy, but boy is he wiggly. Like he is like, la 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 all the time. So the way this swimming lesson looked before Allie stepped in was the instructor basically chasing him around the pool. I'm not even kidding. It was like, okay, like, hey, buddy, let's try this. Da, 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 da. Kind of chase him around. Hey, da, da, da. Maybe every now and again. Okay, let's try this. And now the kid's off again, right? So for him, the visual supports are not necessarily about comprehension. It's about adding structure to an unstructured environment, right? So sometimes people think, you know, oh, like the kid talks. Like, why would I use this? Why would I use a first then board? Why would I use a countdown strip? The kid can talk, he understands what you're saying. These become like a visual contract between you and the child. So I promise, if you do this, this will happen, right? And the kid's like, deal, right? Okay, I can do that. Or instead of you nagging and saying, oh, I need to see another one, I need to see another one, I need to see another one, it's a visual contract. You do 5 back floats, then we're all done with this. We'll move on to the next thing, okay? So here's a picture of Allie sort of putting together a bunch of these concepts, and then we'll break them down in a second. Video of Allie. This is a kid who would not watch the model. It was just her and him. He's pretty happy. He's like, okay, 3. Two more. I'm filming this and trying to get her attention to get them to lift his belly button up a bit. At this point, he's just kicking his feet up. Yeah, let's do this. Let's get this done. Toy time! Okay, are the back floats perfect? No, that's okay. We gotta start somewhere. We can shape the quality of the back float. Is he happy? He's fine. If I just chased him around the pools like, Aiden, do another one, Aiden, do another one, Aiden, do another one, I guarantee you this kid would be like, meh! Like he would not be into that. But because I laid out for him really clearly and I show him, this is what's gonna happen, you need to do 5 of these, he's like, okay. And you hear him saying 2 more, 1 more, right? Totally fine. So it becomes like a visual contract between you and the kid, and he's happy to do it. I'll show you this really quick. So this is one of our teenagers in our, she's actually at circus school, and she was lying on the trampoline, refusing to let anyone else, like she just wouldn't get off, right? She's just like, I kind of like the trampoline, lying there. So they decided to show her, you get 5 more jumps, and then you have to stop, right? And stop means get off. So this is what it looked like. Okay, so the support worker says to her, you need to do 5 more jumps, then you're done. She can't rip them off fast enough.
Awesome.
Oh, the sign says stop, so I guess I'll stop. Like literally, that's how that went down. So again, just really clarifying, this is my expectation. You get 5 more jumps, then we're gonna stop. This is the visual contract. Okay. We use first thens not just for kind of motivating things. Well, I guess this is a motivating thing, but safety rules can work really well with first thens. So some of our kids hate wearing helmets. They just don't like the feel of it on their head. You know, that's just a kid thing. But showing them like, first you have to put your helmet on before you can ride your bike, right? Or there's one from the skate program. First you have to put your helmet on, then you can skate. So when do I use a first then? Honestly, it is like a go-to. Like it's one of the first things out of my mouth if a kid isn't kind of following along. So hey, remember, like first we're gonna do this, then this other thing's gonna happen. If they're having trouble kind of getting through it, if I feel like he's stuck in it, right? Like he's just kind of stuck, he doesn't really like this. So helping him see that light at the end of the tunnel. We use them a lot with younger kids or kids with limited communication who maybe can't explain to us, like, this isn't my favorite thing, right? So we can show them like, hey, I know like back float, it's kind of a tough one, but right after that, we're gonna get to do this. Nice for explaining safety rules. By the way, if you don't have a good then, this strategy will not work, right? Like if it's like first back float, then 20 laps of kicking, don't be surprised if the kid just, I don't know, throws water in your face, right? So not gonna work. So you have to have a good then. And that's where, again, that rapport and knowing the kid, you'll know what to put for the then. Or we give kids a choice, either verbally or we have choice boards. So I can put like toys, singing, slide, break, and I can say to the kid, hey, after you've done your 5 floats today, what would you like to do? And they can actually pick, and then I know that they're motivated, right? I know that the then is motivating. Sometimes you can try, now this is where creativity, it's all on you guys. It's sky's the limit. If you're creative, you can make any activity fun. So this fella came to our Summer in the City program last year, and he's quite impacted by autism. And he is the kind of guy who always carries something in his hands. So he came to the program. We had developed some rapport with him. By this time, it's like day 3. And we took him rock climbing. And we were actually quite thrilled that we got him in the harness to start with. And then we're like, okay, well, now he's in the harness. Let's see if he'll try the rock wall. So he's kind of looking at it like, I don't know about this idea. And we got the staff like modeling it, like, look how fun this is. Like really just trying to encourage him to do it. And he's kind of smiling, but he's like, I'm not so sure. So then I said to him, hey buddy, like, let's see your toy. And I have good rapport with him. So I take his toy. I said, okay, watch this. And we put it behind where she's pointing. I said, why don't you climb up and get your toy, right? You can't do that with a kid on the first time you meet him because he's gonna look at you like, you stole my toy. This kid, good rapport, I'm teasing him. He's like, okay. Up he goes. 1, 2, 3, grabs the toy. We're like over the moon. We're so happy because he's tried it, right? And then he comes down and says, you want to try again? He's like, no. We're like, okay, have a little break. That's fine. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll try later. Okay, we want them to try to participate. So we try to get creative about how to get them to participate. Lots of other examples of that. The sky is the limit. So we've had soccer programs where the kids haven't been super engaged. And so we talk to the parents and we say, what are your kids like? So the one parent says, well, my kid is obsessed with Angry Birds. I said, okay. So we printed out like 8.5 by 11 Angry Birds and put them all over the walls of the gym. And we said to the kids, look guys, we're gonna play Angry Bird target practice. Let's see how many Angry Birds we can kick today. And so right away, they're all in there kicking the balls, getting points, having a great time. So that's just creative thinking. I remember having one kid in our skate program who, like I said, skating is really hard until they actually learn the skill. But he loved the Canucks. Like he was just like, that's why he signed up for Canucks Autism Network. He was like, Canucks, Canucks, Canucks. But he was like, he's kind of a bit of a perfectionist kid. He did not like the sensation of not being able to do something and was very self-aware around that. So we had the idea one day to take hockey cards and to tape them along the boards. And we knew he was like an expert when it came to the Canucks, like he knew everything. So we said to him, we pulled out one and we said, hey, like, why don't you tell me about this player? And he'd say like, oh, well, that's Daniel Sedin, he's number 22, he plays right wing or whatever. Yeah, he's blah, 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 blah. Like, cool. Like, how about that one? Right around the corner from the door, just to try to get him to stand on the ice and look at the card. And he was like, oh, I don't know. And then eventually he kind of steps on and we're like, yeah, cool. No, don't make a huge deal because otherwise he's gonna get too self-aware. He's like, oh, well, that's Alex Burrows. He's number 14, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's right. Wow, gosh, you know a lot about hockey, hey? Can you teach me more about the Canucks? Who's that? 2 little shuffles to the left, right? And eventually you've got him shuffling around the whole boards because he's pointing at all the hockey players. So you just need to think, like, and this, I mean it, there's no book on this stuff. It's all on you in terms of creatively thinking, how can I get something that this kid likes into this activity so they'll be more motivated to participate? Right? The thing is, for some of our kids, they need to find out that it's fun before it becomes fun in and of itself. So we kind of set up these, scenarios where we're motivating them into it, but then over time, they realize that actually kicking a soccer ball around is really pretty fun, right? Or skating is really pretty fun, but first we got to kind of get them into it. So lots of games in our programs, like, for kids who are scared of jumping in off the wall. Well, let's play Jump for Treasures and let's see how many treasures everyone can get and that sort of thing. Lots of this kind of stuff. So this kid loves the diving rings, okay, but he really, really needs to work on his kicking. So we'll do first the length of kicking and then he can play with the diving rings. All of that said, we started with rapport because I'm such a strong believer in rapport. If you have rapport with a kid, like this kid on the rock wall, there's very little that they won't try. They'll try it, right? Because they're so like, okay, well, coach so-and-so, okay, I'm gonna try. If they like you, if you're really positive, a lot of the time they'll at least give it a try, okay? Questions about that section? What time is it? Okay. No, okay, clear as day, hey? You guys are smart.